Stop now. The 3 worst vegetables that worsen numbness and tingling in your feet. Do your feet feel like they're tingling, as if they're asleep? Have you ever woken up with an unexplained feeling of heaviness or swelling? What if I told you that the cause might be on your plate? That's right. Some vegetables you think are healthy might actually be worsening the numbness in your feet. Yes, foods considered healthy can hide villains for your circulation. And the most surprising part? You probably consume them regularly, believing you're taking care of your health. But what if those choices were silently harming your nerves and hindering blood flow to your extremities? That's exactly right. In this video, I will reveal 15 foods that are worsening the numbness and tingling in your feet, but pay attention to the main point. Out of these 15 foods, 3 are vegetables. That's right. I will reveal, among other foods, the 3 worst vegetables that could be behind the tingling and swelling in your feet. The last one is especially dangerous. Consuming it excessively could be a real invitation to serious circulatory issues. Are you ready to find out which foods you should stop eating now? Your feet are giving you signs, and you need to listen to them. Don't waste time. Watch until the end and see how simple changes can make all the difference in your well-being. Number 15. Bacon. Despite being a tasty food found in many breakfasts and dishes around the world, bacon can be a real enemy for those suffering from numbness in their feet. This is because it is extremely high in saturated fats and sodium, 2 components that directly harm blood circulation. The excess sodium in bacon favors fluid retention, which in turn increases pressure in the blood vessels and makes peripheral circulation difficult. Imagine your vessels as small pipes. If they are tight inside, the passage of blood becomes more difficult. That's exactly what happens when we consume foods so rich in salt. And it's not just circulation that suffers. The saturated fats raise bad cholesterol, which can clog arteries and worsen the situation further. Moreover, for those already predisposed to vascular problems or neuropathies, frequent consumption of bacon can accelerate these degenerative processes. Another point of caution is how bacon is prepared. Frying it in oil makes the problem even worse, as it adds more bad fats to the meal. Simply avoiding this food in your daily diet can make a big difference in the long run. It's important to remember that it's not about cutting all the pleasures of life, but rather balancing them. Replacing bacon with healthier options may seem difficult at first, but the benefits for circulation and reducing numbness are worth every effort. And beware, we still have many other dangerous foods to explore. Number 14. Processed hamburger. The processed hamburger, so prevalent in fast foods and quick meals, is one of the big villains for those suffering from numbness in their feet. These products contain high levels of trans and saturated fats, in addition to chemical additives that exacerbate inflammatory processes in the body. Did you know that inflammation is one of the main causes of poor circulation? When the body is inflamed, blood flow is impaired, making the sensation of tingling and numbness in the feet even more frequent. Another major problem with these hamburgers is the presence of excessive sodium. This hidden salt can be responsible for increasing fluid retention, causing the body's extremities to become swollen, and with that uncomfortable sensation of pressure. Ever imagine that quick snack could be behind the discomfort in your feet? Additionally, the additives and preservatives used to extend the shelf life of these foods also make it harder for the body to function, impairing circulation and contributing to toxin buildup. The trans fat mainly present in ready-made and frozen burgers not only raises bad cholesterol but also lowers good cholesterol. This imbalance is extremely dangerous for blood vessels, increasing the risk of blockages and aggravating peripheral numbness. Switching the processed burger for homemade options, made with lean meats and fresh ingredients, can be a simple and extremely beneficial change for your health. It's worth noting that the frequency with which these burgers are consumed can accelerate the negative effects on the body. If you already feel tingling or numbness, imagine how these symptoms can worsen with an unbalanced diet. Remember, your body responds directly to what you consume. Number 13. Frozen pizza. Who doesn't like a slice of pizza? It's delicious, convenient, and perfect for leisure moments. But when it comes to frozen pizzas, the conversation changes completely, especially for those suffering from numbness in their feet. This type of product is loaded with sodium, preservatives, and saturated fats, ingredients that together create the perfect scenario for poor blood circulation and swelling of the extremities. The excessive sodium present in frozen pizza promotes fluid retention and increases blood pressure, factors that compromise blood flow to the feet and hands. Ever felt that sensation of heavy, swollen feet after a meal like this? It's not a coincidence. The body tries to balance the excess salt by accumulating water, resulting in the tingling and numbness that many people feel, especially at the end of the day. In addition to sodium, the preservatives used to extend the shelf life of these products are real traps for the body. They trigger silent inflammatory processes, making circulation more difficult and contributing to peripheral neuropathy, one of the main causes of numbness in the feet. And the problem doesn't stop there. The saturated fats in the low-quality dough and cheeses increase bad cholesterol, facilitating the clogging of blood vessels. Ever thought that quick and convenient dinner could cost you your health in the long run? Opting to prepare your own pizza at home with fresh ingredients and less salt can be a much healthier and tastier choice. Use whole wheat dough, fresh vegetables, and low-fat cheeses to satisfy your cravings without harming your circulation. Number 12. Instant soups. The great villain of these soups is the extremely high level of sodium. A single serving can exceed the recommended amount of salt for the entire day. This excess causes fluid retention, which swells the extremities and harms peripheral circulation. What many people don't know is that when you consume foods so loaded with sodium, the body reacts by accumulating water to dilute the excess salt in the blood. This accumulation puts pressure on the blood vessels and makes it difficult for blood to reach the extremities, causing the dreaded numbness and tingling. Another alarming point in instant soups are the chemical additives and preservatives. They not only prolong the product's shelf life, but also inflame the body silently, making circulation even more compromised. This chronic inflammation is one of the factors that most aggravate peripheral neuropathies, which directly affect the sensitivity of the feet. Additionally, these soups tend to have very few nutrients. They are empty calories that, in addition to not nourishing, overload organs like the kidneys and liver, intensifying fluid retention and the sensation of swelling. If you already have circulatory problems or suffer from tingling in your feet, consuming these products frequently will only worsen the condition. And in this video, you will also learn about the 3 worst vegetables for your feet. Number 11. Ready-made cakes and cake mixes. Who hasn't succumbed to the tempting aroma of a cake coming out of the oven? And with the rush of everyday life, many people turn to ready-made mixes because they are practical and quick. However, what seems like a simple treat may be harming your health, especially if you suffer from numbness in your feet. These ready-made cakes and industrialized mixes are loaded with refined sugars and hydrogenated fats, 2 major villains for blood circulation. Excessive sugar consumption causes blood glucose levels to rise rapidly. And why is this dangerous? High sugar levels can damage blood vessels over time, reducing blood flow to the extremities. It is precisely this reduction that intensifies the tingling and numbness, especially in the feet. Additionally, the hydrogenated fats in these mixes are responsible for increasing bad cholesterol and reducing the good, a truly harmful combo for blood vessels. In the long run, this combination favors the clogging of arteries, making circulation even more difficult. The result? More swelling, more tingling, and a significant worsening in the sensation of numbness in the extremities. Another concerning point is the preservatives and artificial flavorings used in these products. They aggravate silent inflammatory processes in the body, which not only harm circulation but can also affect nerve health. After all, when inflammation reaches the peripheral nerves, numbness tends to intensify. But don't worry, you don't have to give up cake. The solution lies in opting for homemade versions made with whole grains, less sugar, and healthy oils like olive oil or coconut oil. Number 10. Industrialized French fries. Crispy, tasty, and irresistible. French fries are favored at snacks, parties, and quick meals. But if you're dealing with numbness in your feet, this snack might be one of the big culprits worsening your symptoms. Especially the industrial versions, which, in addition to being fried in low-quality oils, are loaded with trans fats and sodium, a dangerous combination for blood circulation. Moreover, the excess salt used to enhance the flavor of these potatoes favors fluid retention, which increases swelling and further pressures the blood vessels. Ever noticed your feet swollen after a meal loaded with French fries? That's a clear sign that your body is reacting to the excess sodium. Another alarming factor is the reuse of oils during frying. Oils heated repeatedly produce toxic compounds that inflame the body and impair circulation. This constant inflammation can affect peripheral nerves, intensifying the sensation of tingling and numbness even further. But don't worry, you can satisfy your craving for French fries in a healthier way. Try baking them in the oven or in an air fryer, using little or no oil and natural seasonings. This way, you reduce the intake of harmful fats and still take care of your circulatory health. And we are getting closer to the moment when the 3 worst vegetables for numbness in your feet will be revealed. Number 9. Candies and processed sweets. Colorful, sweet, and seemingly harmless, candies and other processed sweets are a real danger for those suffering from numbness in their feet. These treats, full of refined sugars and chemical additives, may seem harmless in small quantities, but frequent consumption can significantly worsen circulation problems and nerve health. When you consume foods high in sugar, like candies and industrial sweets, blood glucose levels rise rapidly. This sudden and constant increase can damage the walls of blood vessels, making circulation slower and less effective. The result? Less irrigation of the body's extremities and, consequently, more tingling and numbness in the feet. Additionally, the constant elevation of blood sugar favors the development of neuropathies, especially in people with predispositions or diagnosed with diabetes. Another worrying factor is the amount of chemical additives and artificial colorings present in these products. They not only inflame the body but also interfere with the health of peripheral nerves. When nerves do not receive the necessary nutrients to function properly, the electrical signals sent to the brain are compromised, worsening the sensation of numbness. And there's more. Many of these sweets are consumed automatically as a quick reward during the day. But is it worth sacrificing your health for a momentary pleasure? The good news is that there are healthier alternatives for those who crave sweets. Fresh fruits, dark chocolate in moderation, and homemade desserts with less sugar can satisfy your palate without harming your circulation. So, think twice before opening that pack of candies or industrial sweets. Your health, and especially your feet, will thank you for making a more conscious choice. Number 8. Regular and diet soda. Refreshing, bubbly, and present in almost all quick meals, soda is one of the most consumed and least questioned villains of our daily lives. But if you suffer from numbness in your feet, it's important to know that both regular and diet versions can worsen, and significantly, these symptoms. What many don't realize is that the sugars, artificial sweeteners, and acids in these drinks directly compromise blood circulation and the health of peripheral nerves. In traditional sodas, the big problem is the enormous amount of sugar. Did you know that a single may contain more than the recommended daily dose? This excess causes blood sugar spikes, which over time damage blood vessels and make it difficult to transport oxygen and nutrients to the extremities. It is precisely this poor circulation that causes tingling and numbness in the feet. Imagine that your feet are calling for help, but the blood can't reach them. And if you think diet sodas are a healthier alternative, be careful. They can be even more dangerous. Artificial sweeteners in these drinks, such as aspartame and sucralose, can increase inflammatory processes in the body and impair nerve function, intensifying tingling. Additionally, studies indicate that these sweeteners can deceive the brain, altering how it regulates glucose, and in the long run, contributing to metabolic problems. Number 7. Beer. For many, beer is synonymous with relaxation and socializing. However, for those dealing with numbness in their feet, the consumption of this beverage can be more harmful than one might imagine. The alcohol in beer directly interferes with blood circulation and can aggravate problems like peripheral neuropathy, one of the main causes of tingling and loss of sensitivity in the extremities. When ingested, alcohol causes a temporary dilation of blood vessels, which initially might even give a sensation of warmth and relaxation. But this apparent good sensation hides a rebound effect. After this dilation, the vessels contract, impairing blood flow and contributing to poor circulation. The result? Greater difficulty for blood to reach the feet, causing swelling, tingling, and numbness. Additionally, alcohol can directly damage peripheral nerves over time, especially when consumed frequently. This damage, known as alcoholic neuropathy, is responsible for symptoms such as loss of sensitivity, burning, and muscle weakness. And it doesn't stop there. Beer also contains carbohydrates and sugars that, in excess, can raise blood sugar levels, a further risk for those already dealing with circulatory issues. Another worrying factor is that beer consumption dehydrates the body. Since alcohol is diuretic and increases fluid elimination, it can thicken the blood and make circulation even more difficult. For those who enjoy a moment of leisure with friends, the tip is to moderate. Swap beer for non-alcoholic beverages or opt for iced teas and natural juices. If you can't give up beer, limit it to special occasions and always alternate with water to minimize damage. And we are very close to the top 3, where the worst vegetables for your feet will be revealed. Number 6. Milk chocolate. Delicious, comforting, and for many, a true hug in the form of food. Milk chocolate is one of the world's most popular sweets, but also one of the most treacherous when it comes to blood circulation and numbness in the feet. As irresistible as it is rich in sugars and saturated fats, two ingredients that together can seriously harm your vascular health. The excess sugar in milk chocolate rapidly raises blood sugar levels. This glycemic spike not only damages blood vessels but also contributes to the inflammation of peripheral nerves, worsening tingling and numbness. Imagine your circulatory system as a river. When there's too much sugar, this river becomes thicker, making the flow and arrival of essential nutrients to the extremities more difficult. Saturated fats, on the other hand, raise bad cholesterol and favor the formation of fat plaques in the arteries. This causes the passage of blood to become obstructed, further reducing circulation in the feet and hands. And the worse the circulation, the more intense the symptoms of numbness and tingling become. Another common problem is that because it is sweet and tasty, milk chocolate is often consumed excessively without us realizing it. Ever caught yourself eating just one more piece and suddenly realized the entire bar was gone? This uncontrolled consumption only worsens the damage, especially if it's part of the routine. But don't worry, not all chocolate is a villain. Dark chocolate, with a high cocoa content, contains antioxidants that can even help with circulation, as long as it's consumed in moderation. The difference lies precisely in the composition. Less sugar, less bad fat, and more benefits for the body. So the next time the craving strikes, ask yourself, is it worth sacrificing your circulation for momentary pleasure? Opting for healthier alternatives can be a small step with a huge impact on your quality of life. Number 5. White and refined breads. The French baguette, or that soft, white sandwich bread, may seem harmless, but for those suffering from numbness in their feet, it can be a true, silent enemy. Made with refined flours, these foods undergo a process that removes much of the fibers and nutrients, resulting in a product that quickly turns into sugar in the blood. And what does this have to do with tingling? Everything. Glucose spikes can damage blood vessels and impair circulation, intensifying numbness and swelling in the extremities. When you frequently consume white bread, your body is bombarded with rapidly absorbed carbohydrates, which increase insulin levels and inflame the body. This silent inflammation, which often goes unnoticed, reaches the peripheral nerves and makes it difficult for blood and nutrients to reach the feet. Additionally, the lack of fibers in refined breads not only harms digestion but also worsens poor circulation. Without fibers to regulate sugar absorption, your body is caught off guard with high glucose levels, overloading blood vessels and intensifying symptoms such as numbness and swelling. But don't worry, the solution isn't to give up bread, but rather to make smarter choices. Whole grain breads with grains and seeds are rich in fibers that help stabilize blood sugar and promote healthy circulation. And more, combining them with lean proteins such as eggs or white cheeses can help prolong the feeling of satiety without harming your vascular health. So, the next time you go to the bakery, think twice before choosing that white bread. Your body, and especially your feet, will thank you for this change. Number 4. Industrial ice creams. Refreshing and delicious, industrial ice creams are virtually irresistible, especially on hot days. However, for those dealing with numbness in their feet, this cold treat can be a real villain. Loaded with refined sugars, trans fats, and chemical additives, these products not only harm general health, but also directly affect circulation and the function of peripheral nerves. The excess sugar in ice creams causes blood sugar spikes which, in the long run, damage blood vessels. When this happens, blood has more difficulty reaching the extremities, causing that tingling sensation and numbness in the feet. And more, the trans and saturated fats very common in industrial ice creams raise bad cholesterol and favor the formation of plaques in the arteries. With narrower arteries, circulation is compromised, and the transport of oxygen and nutrients to the feet becomes even more difficult. The result? Swollen feet, heavy, and with that constant sensation of numbness. Another point of attention are the additives and artificial colorings used to add color and flavor to ice creams. These compounds inflame the body and can further worsen the symptoms of poor circulation. And the worst part, because they are cold, ice creams cause temporary vasoconstriction, i.e., a narrowing of blood vessels that momentarily worsens circulation. But don't worry, you don't need to give up a refreshing sweet treat. There are healthier alternatives, such as homemade ice creams made with natural fruits, yogurt, and without refined sugar. These versions not only satisfy your sweet tooth, but also provide important nutrients for your health. And now it's time to reveal the 3 vegetables that, if consumed excessively, can harm your feet. Number 3. Spinach. Spinach is often considered a superfood, full of nutrients and health benefits. But did you know that, for some people, it can be harmful, especially for those suffering from numbness in their feet? That's right. Despite being rich in iron, fibers, and vitamins, spinach contains high levels of oxalates, substances that can aggravate circulatory problems and fluid retention in more sensitive individuals. But how does this affect numbness in the feet? Oxalates can bind to calcium in the body and form small crystals that hinder blood circulation and overload the kidneys. This process not only hampers fluid elimination, but can also lead to swelling in the extremities, intensifying the sensation of tingling and numbness. If you've noticed your feet swelling after consuming foods like spinach, it might be a sign that your body isn't handling these compounds well. Additionally, for people taking anticoagulants, spinach can interfere with the effects of the medication due to its high vitamin K content. This interference can make the blood more prone to clot, which worsens circulation and symptoms of numbness. Another point of attention is that when consumed excessively, spinach can contribute to fluid retention. And as you already know, fluid accumulation in the extremities presses on the nerves and blood vessels, making blood flow difficult and causing that annoying tingling sensation. But does this mean you should completely cut spinach out of your diet? Not necessarily. The key is moderation. Consuming cooked spinach, for example, can help reduce the levels of oxalate present in the plant. Additionally, varying the consumption of green leaves is a great way to obtain the necessary nutrients without overloading the body. Number 2. Broccoli. Broccoli is often touted as one of the healthiest foods in the world. Rich in fibers, vitamins, and minerals, it is part of the diet of many people seeking a balanced diet. However, for those suffering from numbness in the feet, excessive consumption of this vegetable can be an aggravating factor, especially for those who use anticoagulant medications. And why? Broccoli is an abundant source of vitamin K, a nutrient that, in excess, can interfere with blood clotting and, consequently, with circulation. When blood circulation is affected, the transport of oxygen and nutrients to the body's extremities, like the feet, is impaired. The result? More swelling, tingling, and that uncomfortable sensation of numbness that seems to never go away. Imagine your blood vessels as small highways. If the blood is more prone to clot, the traffic jams in these roads increase, making it harder for blood to reach the feet. In addition to vitamin K, broccoli also contains compounds called goitrogens, which, when consumed in large amounts, can interfere with thyroid function. And why does this matter? A dysregulated thyroid can affect metabolism and circulation, worsening symptoms of numbness and tingling. If you feel heavy feet and regularly consume broccoli daily in large portions, it might be a good idea to reassess that frequency. Another important point, like other cruciferous vegetables, broccoli can cause fluid retention in some people, especially when consumed raw and in excess. This retention presses on the peripheral nerves and further aggravates the sensation of numbness in the feet. But don't worry, the idea here is not to demonize broccoli. After all, it has many benefits when consumed in moderation. The tip is to vary the types of leaves and vegetables on the plate to ensure a balanced diet without overloading the body with excess nutrients. If you use anticoagulants, it is essential to talk to your doctor or nutritionist about the ideal amount. Number 1. Swiss chard. Closing our list with a warning, we reach Swiss chard. Like spinach, this vegetable is known for being rich in nutrients such as fibers, vitamins A, C, and K, as well as minerals like potassium and calcium. However, what many people don't realize is that for those suffering from numbness in the feet or predisposed to fluid retention and circulatory problems, Swiss chard may not be the best choice, especially when consumed in excess. The main risk factor lies in the amount of oxalates present in Swiss chard. These substances can bind to calcium in the body and form small crystals that hinder circulation and favor fluid retention. And what's the problem with that? When the body retains fluids in the extremities, like the feet, the resulting swelling presses on the nerves and blood vessels, causing tingling and numbness. In addition to oxalates, Swiss chard is also rich in vitamin K, like broccoli and spinach. For people taking anticoagulants, this can be a problem, as this vitamin can interfere with the medication's action, increasing the risk of clots and compromising blood circulation. Result: blood doesn't flow as it should to the extremities, and numbness in the feet becomes more frequent and intense. Another point of attention is that Swiss chard, when consumed raw, can cause abdominal distension and fluid retention in more sensitive individuals. This swelling not only causes discomfort, but also aggravates the pressure on peripheral nerves, what, as we've seen, is one of the main causes of tingling. But does this mean you should completely cut Swiss chard out of your diet? Not necessarily. The secret lies in moderation and preparation method. Cooking Swiss chard can help reduce oxalate levels, making its consumption safer. Additionally, varying the greens throughout the week prevents the overload of certain nutrients and maintains a balanced diet. Therefore, if you suffer from numbness in your feet and regularly include Swiss chard in your meals, it's worth observing how your body reacts and talking to a health professional to adjust your diet. Sometimes small changes on the plate can make a big difference in your quality of life. And if you want to continue receiving the best videos for your health, subscribe to the channel, because it exists for one reason: to make you a healthier person with a better quality of life. Helping you is my mission. In the video that now appears on your screen, I reveal the 10 foods that strengthen your muscles before it's too late. Click on the screen and check it out. So, until the next video,